Welcome to More For Me with yours truly, Kat Necole. What up, homie? What's going on with you? What's good? I pray that all is well your way. Um, let's jump right on in it. Let's get right into it. So this week, I had the privilege of taking in some wisdom from one of the folks that I choose to surround myself with. Parenthetically, let me insert, we do realize that those that you allow close to you, it's a decision about who you allow to be close to you. And you might want to think about who you're letting be there because they influence you. Back to the story. So, our barber, Mr. Mike, love him, right? He was our barber before we left Texas, and I get to come back to Mr. Mike. So, courtesy of Mr. Mike, he drops this nugget. I'm gonna give you the nugget right away, a little bit of the backstory, and we'll see. Hey, how does that apply to us rolling forward? Nugget. Mr. Mike says, sometimes in order to move forward, you have to make a sacrifice. It was good. It was good. I let it marinate when he said it to me. But how did we get to the point that my barber is telling me about making sacrifices in order to move forward? Well, it was my first back in Texas haircut, and I sit in a chair. Now you have to understand, I'm looking to make a change. I tell Mr. Mike, I'm ready to grow my hair out. But as you may have seen, if you watch on YouTube, if you check out my social, like you may have seen, I was wearing a bit of a fade. And I mean, we talk about that like kid and play type fade. Like I was going high and I didn't have any sides, right? But in order to grow my hair out to the lovely locks that I knew prior to this season, this haircut, I might have to make a sacrifice because it was just going to be awkward growing out short sides and having long hair on the top, right? So it just wasn't going to work. And Mr. Mike was literally telling me, hey, you want to grow your hair out, but you might have to make a sacrifice of because I had some good height, some good length on the top of that good fade. But in order to get to where you want to be, you might have to cut off that top. Now, when he said it, I was like, oh, that's good. That's good. It was resonating with me. But I'm going to have to be honest with you guys. Like 4 days after my haircut, every time I saw myself in the mirror, I was like, I don't have any hair. I'm pretty sure my husband got tired of hearing me say, I don't have any hair. Like, okay, Captain Obvious, we've already been over this. But I just like, all that hair is gone. That same week, French actually sent me a picture of my son and I when he was, I don't know how many months old, but he hadn't even hit a year yet. And I had shorter hair, but longer. Long, short hair. And it was super cute. And it took me back to a place like, oh, wow, this is what I'm working towards, right? Still going to grow out, going to have a super cute cut in between as it grows longer. But I'll get back to this place because I went with wisdom, the wisdom of Mr. Mike, instead of my feelings like, I know I want this thing, but I don't really want to do what it takes in order to get there. So after having done what it takes, I'm well on my way. Growing it out a little bit, trying to get that shape going that we're going for here. But sometimes in order to move forward, you have to make a sacrifice. Let that marinate in your spirit real quick. What does that exactly mean? So that example, I literally had to cut the hair off the top of my head so that my hair could grow in a manner that I felt comfortable with and that was going to get me to the destination of more that I literally want to be at. Long hair. Or I could wear like a bob, let it grow a little bit more and have it down my back, but not look weird or crazy in that process. So that's where I was then. But where does that put you in life in general? Here's some examples that kind of came to my mind. Have you ever had when you're required to spend money like on a needed car repair, even though your focus has been saving? Like your focus in the season is relationships and increasing the healthy relationships or strong relationships that you have, but then you actually have to end some relationships. Let's see. You looking to increase your productivity, but God is telling you to do less. Honoring the Sabbath, your day of rest, the holy day of rest that God commands us all to acknowledge, even though you feel like you don't have enough time to do anything. One more for you, right? Blessing a homeless person, even though you've been holding on to a couple dollars so you can finally do something special for yourself. Just a few examples. Maybe one of those examples resonated with you, but there are so many ways around us all the time where you're like, I have a goal, I see it, the vision is plain, I have a plan, but am I willing to make the sacrifice? Am I good with making that sacrifice in order to move forward to where I really want to be? And that's the question for the day. Matter of fact, that's the question that I face every single day. Am I willing to make the sacrifice in order to be where God has called me to be? It may not be easy. You may look at yourself in the mirror for 4 days like, I don't have no hair. But I know that it's grown some already, but in due season that I'll get to the place that I want to be in terms of the length of my hair so I can style it in whatever way. And I don't want to get too caught up, right? Like, you just talk about your hair, that's superficial. No, don't get lost on it. It's about just like the other examples I just shared, right? That you sometimes have to make a sacrifice. And it can be so frustrating because sometimes it's a choice to make the sacrifice. Other times the sacrifice, it just must be made, right? You don't really feel like you have a choice in the matter. Your car needs a major repair, but you've been saving your money. You're not going to not repair your car because you're like, I'm saving this. You need transportation. You got to get to and from work. So sometimes it seems like you have no other choice, but then there are other times and other things in life where we literally have a choice to make, right? This is what I want, but am I willing to sacrifice, to do the work, to do what it takes in order to get to where God is calling me to be? And that's all I'm going to leave you guys with this week. There are a lot of things that are going on. I know for me personally, where I will revisit this and prayerfully choose wisdom to make the sacrifice in order to get where God is calling me to be. We know the focus is fitness and friendships. Matter of fact, I threw out some chocolates I didn't need that somebody gave me because they were being very kind and sweet, and I ate most of those sweets, so I had to throw it out, right? Because I sacrificed those delicious chocolates in order to get to where God has called me to be. I've made some minor goals, taking some small bites about things I want to accomplish as it pertains to fitness so that I can crush it for the year, but I'm going to do a little bit at a time, but I have to be willing to make that sacrifice. And so I want you to ask yourself that same question. Are you willing to make the sacrifice to move forward on the journey towards the destination of more that God has for each and every one of us? You got to believe it. God wants more for you. I do too. So that's all for this week. Thank you for tuning in, whether you're watching on YouTube or listening on your favorite podcast platform. Until next week, same mode, same time, same place. Remember, God has more for me and God has more for you. Now let's get it. Take care.